Our top story comes from Machakos County, where Deputy Governor Francis Mwangangi has said that if the government wants Kenyans to be proud in the new year 2026, it must make education free across the country. Mwangangi stated that many parents are struggling greatly to finance their children's education, especially at the Kenya Kwanza government, as harsh economic conditions continue to weigh heavily on citizens. Speaking during the New Year celebrations at the Vuka Festival in Machakos town, Mwangangi called on President William Ruto to reconsider the motion of transforming Kenya into a country like Singapore, saying it will remain nothing more than a dream as long as education remains expensive and inaccessible to many Kenyans.
Please reduce lies. 2026, please ensure we have quality education which is free. That was the agenda of transforming this country to Singapore. It cannot be we are talking about taking the country to level of Singapore without free quality education in Kenya.
In a different story, President William Ruto's development promises are expected to be realized in the year 2026, with the national development taking center stage. Addressing Kenyans who had gathered at the Pamoja Festival held at Club in Eldoret Town, President Ruto expressed confidence that his administration will complete all major infrastructure projects as planned. He noted that key projects include the Rironi-Mau Summit Highway extending to Malaba, the standard gauge railway SGR from Naivasha to Malaba, the new Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and the Talanta Sports City Stadium in Nairobi. The president emphasized that these projects are part of the government's commitment to expanding the economy, improving connectivity, and positioning Kenya for long-term growth in 2026 and beyond.
Na mimi naamini jameni ya kwamba yale yote tumepanga hii 2026 tunasukuma barabara ya Rironi kuja mpaka Mau Summit na itafika Eldoret iende mpaka Malaba. Hii 2026 tunaleta ile reli kutoka Naivasha itateremuka iende Narok, iende Bomet, iende Nyamira, iende Kisumu, iende Malava. 2026 is our year to take Kenya forward. Hiyo 2026 tunajenga airport mpya, international airport, world class, pale Jomo Kenyatta. Na hiyo 2026 mnajua tutafanya mambo gani? Ile Bomas International Conference bilioni 40 tutaikamilisha in 2026 kabla ya May 2026. Mnanielewa? Na ile stadium kubwa inayoitwa Talanta kufikia mwisho wa Januari tutaifungua upya na tutangojea michezo Kenya itasonga.
President William Ruto has continued to criticize opposition leaders, claiming they lack policies or development records to compete with him politically in the 2027 general elections. Speaking at Mbukungu Stadium in Kakamega Town after attending the finals of the Governor Fernandez Barasa Suka Cup, Ruto appeared to single out Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, saying he has done nothing to help the people of the Ukambani region. The president's remarks highlight ongoing political tensions as parties begin positioning themselves ahead of the next general election. Plans for the new year 2026 continue to take shape. Residents of Bungoma County gathered in various locations to celebrate and usher in the new year. From churches and clubs to open public spaces, people came together wherever they could to mark the arrival of 2026. Residents said that the year 2025 was marked by numerous challenges, including the rising cost of living, but expressed hope and optimism that 2026 will be a better and more successful year. The presiding bishop of the ACK in Bungoma Town, Ruto'S urged Kenyans to maintain peace as political activities in 2026 begin to intensify. He called on churches to take the lead in promoting unity, cohesion, and peaceful coexistence across the country.
Mwaka wa mambo mengi, umekuwa ni mwaka wa vifo kadha wa kadha. Tumewapoteza wanasiasa kadhaa, wabunge kadhaa. Hata mimi sasa niko ninamlia baba yangu aliyekuwa mbunge wa Likuyani, Dr. Eno Kwamalo Kibunguchi. Niko namlia huyo baba yangu ambaye tunamlaza Jumamosi tarehe 3 Januari. Pia tunajua jana tumemzika Mheshimiwa CJ Cyrus Jirongo ambaye pia alituacha mwaka huu ambao umeisha, na viongozi wengine wengi tukiongeza aliyekuwa kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga pia tulimpoteza mwaka huu, mwaka ambao umepita. So ni natumaini ya kwamba vile tumewachana huo mwaka umepita, nafikiria mambo ya vifo itatusamea kidogo, ili mwaka huu wa 2026 tuende na maisha yenye mafanikio, tuende na agenda ya development.
Tunaweza kukumbuka kwamba mwaka wa 2025 tulimpoteza kiongozi wetu Raila Amolo Odinga na viongozi wengine ambao tuliweza kuwapoteza, lakini sisi Mwenyezi Mungu ametunikia nafasi kuweza kuona mwaka huu wa 2026. Kwa hivyo tunamrudishia sifa na shukran tukisema ni asante kwamba ametufikisha.
Personally, it is the year 2025 imefanya nikaamua nikrosia hapa church, and it's a blessing because it's the hand of God that have got me going through 2025.
Mimi wito wangu kwa serikali ni washukishe tu bei ya vitu.
Kuna vitu mingi ambavyo vijana tumepitia last year, lakini this year nataka tushikane pamoja, tusimame pamoja, tusisukumwe huku na huku na siasa. Ninajua watu sahi wako wanatuandama sisi vijana.
Still moving on stories related to the New Year celebrations, the Christmas and New Year holiday period has seen many entertainment establishments, including hotels and clubs, record a sharp decline in customer turnout compared to previous years. In Machakos County and the Kitengela area, many entertainment venues were observed operating with very few customers, and according to residents, this situation has been driven by new trends among Kenyans who now prefer celebrating at home, along roadsides or inside luxury vehicles. The increasing availability of alcohol sold in retail outlets, commonly known as wines and spirits shops, has also contributed to the reduced number of patrons in hotels and clubs. Workers in hotels and entertainment venues have warned that unless changes are made to laws regulating the sale of alcohol and unless emerging consumption trends are addressed, many entertainment spots may continue to experience low business and remain deserted.
2025 imekuwa mwaka mgumu sana kwa biashara, and tunaovia kwamba the year coming 2026 itakuwa na shinda kama hii ya 2025. Nilikuwa naona hapo mbeleni watu wanajaa, biashara inatendeka vizuri, watu wanakula nyama vizuri, wanakula tembo yao vizuri. But this time around unapata wanaume kama 5, 10 wanaketi meza moja, wanachukua pombe kali ndio washare because they can't afford a bottle of Tusker. Chupa ya Tusker haitaweza kushika ile mali anataka ishike, but wakishare hiyo spirit they spend less, alafu utakuwa na steam. So tunahofia mwaka wa 2026 ikuwe nzuri juu mahitaji iko juu zaidi kuliko mapato, na unaona hata biashara za mahoteli zimekuwa ngumu sana hii mwaka. So ni tuombe Mungu hata serikali ijaribu kututengenezea vile biashara zetu zitainuka na vile vitu zitakuwa na bei ambao kila mwananchi.
And shifting gears to matters education, concerns are rising among parents as the children are expected to join high school for grade 10 this month, raising questions about the government's preparedness for the transition. Kiaru Member of Parliament in Nyoro has criticized the government, describing the preparations for the grade 10 transition as inadequate. Nyoro also claimed that the government plans to increase school fees for day school students by more than 9,000, a move he says would place additional financial burdens on parents, especially as the cost of living remains high. The government, however, has denied these claims, stating that the proposed plans are under review and that there are no immediate fee hikes.
Kuna mahangaiko sana kwa hii mfumo mpya wa CBC. Walimu wanahangaika, hawajajua wafanye nini, hawajajua kama pesa itakuwa ili ya kuelekeza kwamba watoto wataingia shule namna.
I actually had thought the same way our security officers were recalled from leave. I would have imagined that even the Ministry of Education had no luxury to be on leave around this time. The way we close schools is the normal way we closed even this time. And we are expecting to normally again reopen in January like it's a normal year. This is not a normal year, especially when we are having the transition of grade 10. Now, it is alarming to see that the government unashamedly directing principals of day secondary schools that the capitation from January will be 12,000 shillings from the 22,000 shillings and 244 shillings that has been there before, and directing that the burden of 9,374 shillings will now be shouldered by parents. I want to say this without blinking of an eye. As the leadership of this country and as adults in this country who have benefited from the free basic education, we are not going to allow any leader to
Kimaiyu, Member of Parliament Kimaiyu, has called on Kenya's former President Uhuru Kenyatta to step away from active politics and instead focus on uniting leaders and the Kenyan people without engaging in political alignments. Speaking at his home during a meeting with religious leaders held as part of special prayers to usher in the year 2026, Ichung'wah said that former President Kenyatta remains the only living former head of state, and therefore he has a responsibility to offer guidance and counsel to leaders at all levels. Ichung'wah further advised leaders and Kenyans not to be incited or misled by politicians regarding the existence and intent of various legislative bills, calling for calm and unity as the country moves forward in the new year.
Every day to pray for our former President Uhuru Kenyatta to heal. Accept that things went the way they went in 2022. Support his successor, not because he likes him, but support him because he's a leader today. And he's a leader who God has given that opportunity to lead our country today. That it doesn't augur well as a former president to keep undermining your successor. You are a senior leader, a statesman, a father figure. Come and speak to my president. But if we now get mad into the politics of the day, you want to support this side against this side, you want to throw words with ODM people, this and that, it doesn't augur well.
In such a story and a strange story here, ODM party leader Oburu Odinga has announced that he considers himself the rightful candidate for the 2027 presidential election should the party decide to participate in the race. Speaking in Diani, Kwale County, Oburu stated that he is also delivering his New Year message while firmly dismissing claims that the ODM party has been sold out, describing such allegations as unfounded and impossible. Oburu's announcement signals his intention to play a key role in shaping ODM's strategy ahead of Kenya's next general election.
Our party shall have known whether we are going it alone or we are going to go into coalition with other parties, and we shall have by that time known whom we are going with into the political coalition, if any, or we are going it alone. And of course, if we are going it alone, I want to make it absolutely clear that our constitution already has a presidential candidate for our party. And that presidential candidate is clearly stated in the constitution of our party. And it is the party leader. And it is the party leader speaking. I am the presidential candidate for ODM if ODM decides that it goes it alone. Who is preparing himself to go for presidential election in ODM, I think is misplaced. If they want to go for presidential candidacy, they should look for another party. But this particular party, the presidential candidacy is already decided. But we are not fully integrated into the government. We are just in a broad-based coalition. I mean, not even a coalition, but in a broad-based arrangement, which does not resolve to a coalition. We are keenly watching the implementation of those sections of the arrangement or the agreements we had with them. Anybody who is saying ODM is sold to other parties is also daydreaming. ODM is strong and it is kicking, it is up, and it is not about to be sold. And it will never be sold. And if it is to be sold, I don't know at what price. This party is too big to be sold to anybody. And I don't know if there is anybody in Kenya who can afford the price.
William Ruto's administration to combat drug and substance abuse in the year 2026 have been strongly encouraged, with Kenyans being urged to actively support the initiative. Speaking during the New Year celebrations in Kinoo area, Kiambu County, leaders and community members noted that drug abuse and excessive alcohol consumption have negatively affected many young men, particularly in the Mount Kenya region. At the same time, politicians were called upon to uphold high standards of peace and avoid divisive politics that could trigger unrest and instability in the country. Additionally, Kenyans were urged to remain hopeful in the new year and to give President Ruto's government adequate time to fulfill its development promises and policy commitments.
Substance abuse is a serious menace to our young ones, whereby we need to put synergy from the parent level and administration level to the spiritual level. And I just want to appreciate our president because he is in the forefront to fight this evil. And I would like to ask all the stakeholders, parents, clergy, the government, the politicians, to stand and save this generation. Because if we cannot stand, if we cannot join hands, we are going to see our young ones vanquish, and we are going to suffer, all of us. It is my prayer, and I call upon our president just to lead us to fight this evil.
Still moving on, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya strongly defended the role of the opposition in Kenya while sharply criticizing President William Ruto's administration over what he described as policies that do not benefit ordinary Kenyans. Speaking at a political rally in Kwanza area, Trans Nzoia County, Natembeya said that opposition leaders fully honored the constitution by choosing to remain outside government following the 2022 general election. He further rejected calls for cooperation with the Kenya Kwanza administration led by President William Ruto. Governor Natembeya also opposed the affordable housing program and the production of school subsidies, while calling for greater transparency in the use of public funds and in the distribution of direct cash transfers to citizens.
Hakuna mahali sheria imesema kwamba wale ambao wanashindwa waingie kwa serikali. Raila mwenyewe alipanga na Ruto akaingia huko, lakini sisi watu wa Azimio tulipaki nje ya serikali, maana policies zetu na programs zetu na za Ruto hazifanani. Sisi hapa Trans Nzoia tumesema kwamba hatutaki mambo ya affordable housing, tunataka industries. Ama namna gani? Watuletee industries jiajiri watoto wetu, ama namna gani? Tujenge ma industry, watu wapate kazi, wajenge nyumba wenyewe, ama namna gani? wakasema wanaleta CBC, si ndio? Baadaye wakasema ni CBE. Sasa matokeo imepita, watoto wa matajiri wameenda kwa shule nzuri. Watoto wa maskini wote mnahangaika hapa, mmepelekwa shule mbovu kweli kweli. Iko mama mwingine hapa Kiminini, mtoto wake amepelekwa Kilifi Day School, Kilifi.
And back to Kenya's capital city, Nairobi County, Women Representative Esther Passaris has criticized ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna for what he described as disrespectful remarks directed to other political leaders. Speaking in Kamarok during an end-of-year event held for more than 1,800 elderly residents in Nairobi County, Passaris said she was disappointed by statements allegedly made by Sifuna during the burial of former Ligari Member of Parliament Cyrus Jirongo, and Passaris called on Sifuna and other leaders to uphold respect, wisdom and unity within the party, emphasizing that solidarity remains the foundation of strong and principled politics.
Nataka kumwambia Sifuna, niliona vile anavuruga Wetangula, spika wetu, na Musalia Mudavadi. Wewe kama huwezi kuheshimu wazee kama kijana, kwa sababu uko na kizungu mingi na Mungu amekupatia sura nzuri, inahitaji zaidi ya hizo mbili. Lazima uwe na heshima. Huwezi kwenda kuvuruga hawa kama hawajui kitu na wewe mwenyewe unajua pale umetoka. So hii mambo ya kusema Kenya inaharibika si William Samoei Ruto.
Residents in Kabete, Kiambu County went on rampage, setting a matatu public service vehicle on fire following the death of a boda rider. The rider, a man operating in the area, died after being hit by the matatu. Witnesses said the matatu was attempting to overtake on a dangerous stretch of road that was ongoing construction, which contributed to the accident. However, some of the residents who had gathered condemned the act of arson, urging others not to act out of anger but to follow the law instead. The authorities have not yet reported arrests, and the incident highlights the need for road safety awareness and adherence to legal channels in addressing grievances.
Ilikuwa inashuka pande ya Wangige, lakini ikafikiria kuibia barabara pande ya dereva. Jamaa Nduthi wa pikipiki alikuwa anashuka akienda Wangige, na yeye pia akafikiria vile ameona dereva amerudi pande ya Makanga, akaamua kwenda pande ya dereva. Akiamua kuingia, dereva wa Nissan akiamua kuibia barabara, akagonga mtu wa pikipiki na akamuua.
Watu kuchukua sheria mkononi haifai, kwa sababu wenye gari labda wananga makosa, lakini dereva anakuwa nia kuna makosa, na wakati watu wamechukua sheria mkononi na kuchoma gari, wanapeleka mwenye gari hasara ambao hakuwa amejitayarisha. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri kusema watu wasirudi kuchukua sheria mikononi.
Tungeomba hii barabara iishe juu watu wanaumia wengi sana hapa Gitaru. Tena sana zaidi ya watu 10. Alafu waje usema ati mnane watu wa boda. Hapana. Sasa nani anajua hiyo, nani amechoma hiyo gari?
Lakini kila kitu ikiambiwa wanasema ni mtu wa Nduthi, juu ni mtu wa Nduthi amegongwa, wanasema ni mtu wa boda. Na sijaona mtu wa boda mwenye amekuja kuchoma gari hapa. Ni watu wamejitokelezea wakakuja kuchoma gari.
And we're still busy in the season, but it's time for sports. If you like sports, come with me. And in football, Santos FC emerged as the champions in the men's category of the 4th edition of the Kibwezi Youth Mentorship Tournament. Santos secured the title after benefiting or defeating Makasa FC in a dramatic penalty shootout. In the women's category, Kibwezi Divers successfully defended their title with a 2-1 victory over Kanyungu Starlets, showcasing skill and determination. Kibwezi MP Mutuse Mwengi announced plans to establish an academic valued at 55 million in Kibwezi Town, aimed at nurturing local sporting talent and providing a platform for young athletes to develop their skills.
Hapa ambao ni timu ya ufundi, kazi yetu tunatafuta platform kama hii. Juu sisi kazi yetu ni kufine, tutafute talanta, si ndio? Lakini sasa tumepatiwa nafasi ya kutafuta, na tumefurahi mheshimiwa, tunafurahi sana kwa kutupatia hii platform na kwa mwaliko. tuje hapa tuangalie wachezaji.
December, October, November wakicheza KIMSA, they direct their energies positively. Ndio wakati wa shule ukifika, wakuwa wametunza vizuri, warudi shule wasome vizuri, baadaye wakuwe ni watu wa kusaidia nchi yetu ya Kibwezi na nchi yetu ya Kenya. Tunafanya vizuri.
I just want to mention very few people who are watching. I mentioned Diana, Happy New Year. David is following and Queen is following, but a lot of people are watching, and thank you for watching. And that story brings us to the end of 9 p.m. news on this first day of January 2026. As we begin this new year, we thank you for choosing EBN as your trusted source of news. May the days ahead be filled with hope, progress, and positive change for you and your loved ones. And on behalf of the EBN TV and the entire news team, we wish you a peaceful, prosperous, and successful year 2026. My name is Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba, or JKS, and this has been JKS Thursdays. Good night and thank you for watching.